Okay, so now we'll try to sum up in 5 minutes what a rational and an irrational number is. And we'll talk about some subsets of real numbers, but we'll probably cover that in another video. So we'll start off with a joke here. Here, pi is telling the square root of -1 to be real because it's not a real number. And we have the square root of -1 saying back be rational because pi is irrational. Ha ha ha. Okay, sorry. It's late. Okay, so a real number. Any number on the number line. And we're not just talking about the numbers that are at these marks here, 0 and 1. Also, every single number in between here that's not marked. Okay, so these can be irrational numbers as well. That goes on forever, but don't want to get too abstract right now. Here's a Venn diagram showing some of the subsets we're going to take a look at. Everything we're going to look at is real. Natural numbers, whole numbers, integers. These are all numbers that are rational. You can see that their circles are inside the circle for rational. The irrational numbers, though, they are real, but they're not going to be rational, and you're not going to find any irrational numbers that are integer, whole, or natural. If I'm taking a look at this, I can see that the natural numbers, since this circle is fully inside this, then all the naturals are whole. It's also inside the circle for integers, so all the naturals are integers. All the whole numbers are integers, but all the whole numbers are not natural. So Venn diagram's a nice way to kind of organize our thoughts. What a rational number is. It's a number that terminates or repeats. Terminate meaning end, and repeat means that you have some sort of pattern to it. Okay, so you can pause this if you want to take a couple extra seconds with that. The other thing I like to talk about is that it can be expressed in the fraction form a over b. I find a lot of cases where you'll be able to look at a number quickly if you know this and determine if it's rational or irrational. Okay, these numbers all terminate, so they're rational. These numbers terminate, they're rational. These numbers will terminate when we change them to a decimal. Here we would have 0.4, here we would have -3.7, and here we would have 8. All rational because they terminate. Terminator, get it? I'm just full of jokes here. Alright, these are rational because they repeat. And we're just going to stick them all up here. I only have 5 minutes. I'm seeing the line, that means 13.44444. It tells me that this 4 repeats. Here it would be -5.161616 all the way till infinity. So because it repeats, these are all going to be rational numbers. So you see the line, it repeats. The line actually is going to be over only the part that repeats. These are all rational. Irrational numbers. They do not repeat and do not terminate. They cannot be expressed as fractions. And I like to say the no-no test. If I say, do they repeat, and you say no, and I ask you if they terminate, you say no, then if you say 2 no's, then this is an irrational number. Now some examples. Okay, down at the bottom you're going to see just a visual of pi, because that's probably the most famous irrational number. But if you look at this number here, we don't have any pattern to it, and it seems to be going on forever. So it doesn't repeat, and it doesn't terminate. Pi doesn't repeat, doesn't terminate. Goes on forever without a pattern. Some other examples are the square root of 2, Euler's number, the golden ratio. You can see it looks like there may be a pattern here, but there's not. I'm going through this fast, so please just pause it if you need to take a look. Okay. Some square roots and some cube roots are rational, but others are not. Square root of 3 is irrational. You can see there's no pattern and it does not repeat. Same thing with the square root of 99. And square, SpongeBob square pants, har har. Square root of 25 is rational though because it terminates. Square root of 9 is 3, so that's rational as well. Okay, square root of 25 is 5. That's rational, it terminates. Square root of 9 is 3. That terminates, so it's rational. Okay, well next slide we'll play rational or irrational, but I'm going to need to stop it here. So if you want kind of a quiz, if you want to take a look at what's irrational or rational, we'll go through the second part in the next video. Okay?